Hey everyone, today we're diving into an exhilarating story of whether we can successfully steal a pink diamond. Also, there's the thermal imaging system here. Kayla suggested using quantum cloaking materials for the cameras, but what about the thermal issue? Nick, on his way back to the office, shared this intriguing find with Little Black. Only they knew the plan, so they took the diamond together and sorted the thermal imaging by night. As long as they spray the sensor, the thermal imaging system would go on strike. Plus, they 3D printed the manager's face to sneak into the vault. Next day, Nick snuck into the vault, spraying the thermal imaging system unnoticed. The last risk's gone. When staff leave, their plan starts. Guess what? UFO World Cup final tonight. Everyone was glued to the game. Even the security guards joined the party. How great is that? Kayla still was the invincible, keeping an eye on everything outside the trading center. The rest of the team were ready too. They drove to the basement parking of the building next door, and the 3D printed masks passed facial recognition. No security alert. Quick park. Lights hit monitor, screen in white mist, nothing visible. They hopped out of the car, loaded their gear, and stealthily headed for the roof. With high-tech gear, they easily opened the rooftop security door, gathered on the platform, ready to pull off the heist. Then they pieced together the metal pipes to send one team member across. After securing the pipes, the rest climbed up to the trading center rooftop, and this was a breeze. It took just a minute. Kayla monitored the entire security system using a loophole, directing the team to the vault's location. Thanks to knowing the camera switch timings, their movements were smooth as silk, and they quickly entered the elevator to drop to the vault's perimeter. Then they activated the quantum cloak, hiding behind it as they crept through the monitoring corridor. They breezed through the trickiest sections. Other obstacles were basically child's play for these pros. Their vault door, weighing tons, was smashed open in mere minutes using their fancy gear. Next, it was time for some wild zero-box action. They pried open the safe and dumped everything on the floor, but the pink diamond was nowhere to be found. But they stayed silent in a mysterious contest. The watching manager sensed something and left the bar after bidding Eva farewell. Before long, Kayla spotted the manager heading back to the trading center and promptly alerted her teammates. Everyone quickly stuffed diamonds and valuables into bags, but Little Black still hadn't found the pink diamond. As the manager neared, Little Black panicked. But crucially, the manager glanced at the vault, thinking all was well. So he took the elevator back to the ground, while the thieves were stealthily tucked away in the elevator shaft, like clever crows waiting for him to leave. They started climbing up the rope, but just as they were about to escape the trading center, the pipe suddenly snapped and crashed down, alerting the security guards in the control room. Security bolted toward the trading center, and Nick tossed the bag to his teammates, yelling at them to run, while he slipped back into the... He managed to dodge the guards coming to investigate, thinking he was in the clear, only to bump into another security guard on the second floor. Nick jumped the gun as the guard readied his, knocking him out. Fortunately, he wore a bulletproof vest. The gunshot grabbed everyone's attention. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the building, and Nick seized the chance to fire back at the enemies. Nick floors it, leaping out the second floor window as Kayla brings Little Black. They hop in and speed off. But the unusual vehicle caught security's attention right away, and they quickly set up a full blockade around the white. Kayla quickly packed up her gear and joined the others, moving all their loot to another car, preparing to make a run for it. Next, they ripped off the wipe wrap, swap plates, and dispersed. Meanwhile, the manager rushed in with security to the vault, and when the door swung open, everyone's heart sank. The room was in disarray, everything gone. Meanwhile, Nick and his crew cruised through the tunnel, relaxed. They noticed two cars tailing. Ready teammates handed out weapons, ready for surprises. In the next second, the cars behind them opened fire, and they were caught off guard. After a moment of shock, they began to return fire, but with two cars against them. They were outmatched. One of the attackers bit the dust, but Nick took a bullet and floored the accelerator, initiating a wild chase in the winding mountain. The attacking didn't stop, but taking out one car eased some pressure. But the pursuit continued. Little Black was driving carefully when suddenly they got hit in a tire. They lost control and tumbled into a ditch, the team rattled and bruised. As the enemies closed in, they braced for surrender. But then, in a surprising twist, as they got out, Little Black was shocked to discover these were actually the big boss henchmen. Little Black handed over the diamond, and after a quick check, the man gave him a car key, and they parted ways. The man instructed his goons to douse two cars in gasoline, then set them ablaze, obliterating evidence. After escaping, Nick and the crew regrouped at the beach. Seeing the wealth, everyone was thrilled, thinking their lives were set. But in the next moment, the police stormed in. The notorious thieves, who thought they were untouchable for 10 years, were all about to be cuffed. As you can see, everyone probably gets it now, right? Nick was that double agent, doing whatever it took to wipe out that crime gang.